Today's program is about rendering. Doing the rendering, I would like to first tell you that what we need is a paper of any dimension. To start with, I personally use a pencil of any grade, but it should be of a soft grade, I should say, so that easily you can delineate the various forms that you want to do. Important thing is that you are going to paint it in colors, and we use the colors. We should know what colors we are going to use, and they are to be related to the still life before us. Now here, for example, in the still life, I see the ochre color, yellow ochre of the jar, the brown, the white of the plates and the cup, the orangish red of the apple, the red of the box, the blue, red, white colors in the strip of designs, and the green of the drapery. They are the important colors. So my composition would evolve around these colors. But another thing I would like to explain, that they should not keep any restriction on me. When I want to create a pattern, a design means not decorative design means a composition. When I say use the word design, it means composition, an arrangement of forms. So when I am going to use it for the sake of composition, that is a creative use of the various forms on this rectangular space of the paper, I am free to introduce something for creating a better effect in my composition, and I can go slightly outside this visual aspect of the object that is before us. So I can use my freedom of introducing some additional forms, but they should be correlated to the elements that I am using over here. Now to proceed, I try to first visualize it. Not necessarily immediately I start drawing from that. I must watch the objects, the group of objects before me. I should try to make an optical analysis of the various forms and the implied forms of the various objects. As in the beginning I told you, while demonstrating the various possibilities of a particular form, like the lid is consciously I know it is a circular thing, though it is not, it is looking like an ellipse followed by two parallel lines. The jar, it's a vertically cylindrical form, but again its surface is broken by the pattern created by this line, and also again by the brown bottom. Then a handle, vertically straight almost. Then projection of this nozzle is creating a different pattern. Now these are certain components of the total form of the jar. Likewise, in the cup, it has the elliptical top, it has the elliptical bottle, half elliptical I should say. It has got a strip of border with the spots of red, yellow, white, etc. and grey on the blue, bordered with kite-like small kite-like figures breaking it. We have an apple. It has a textural surface with red spots, red strips on the orange. We have a round circular plate, slightly petaled, very soft tones of greys, spike of light pink over there. We have a rectangular box over there. Now the question is how to use them. In how many ways we can break the components. Now you may have your way, I may have my own way, third person may have his own way or her own way. There is no set rule about it. but I only go with my own way, one of my own ways I should say. Now another thing, I am conscious of the flat surface before me. Within its limits I have to create the composition through rendering. Now the most prominent object is the jar. Bottom is marked by the edges of the box and the apple. These are the two extremities on the right and on the left. The left and right vertical extremities means the edge of the box, the handle of the jar. These are my limits. Within that I have to create. Now taking for example from the prominent object the jar. Now not necessarily following the visual objective view of the jar. I for example create my own pattern with it. I take a horizontal line, its lid is here, the nozzle is here, because this curve gives me a fine break of its, and then this form that is created over there. Its outline is marked over here. I may use it as it is. Now this is one. I may not draw the whole jar, but another thing is I have to break its visual form. So now the lid, for example, I take not in its present ecliptic form, I take the view taken from the top, a circle, as if I will view it from the top. So I use the circle over here. Now to give it additional form, I use the width of the lid, and I use it like this. I am leaving it unfinished. I don't know whether I will continue or I will break it. Now the handle is there. It is not necessary that I take the full width of it. I break it over here intentionally. An important thing is that in rendering, the forms can overlap. What is not visible there, it can be visible over here. What is visible over there, we may make it invisible over here. Now take for instance, I have to create a pattern, a sort of abstract, it's not totally abstract, but abstraction is there. Now here for example, if I do it, it will be almost like a drawing drawn by a child, almost realistically, though it is not realistic, but it's not for me. Now I take this handle away from it and I put it over here, and I bring down the lines. I don't know how to use it, but I will decide afterwards. Now the edge, the vertical edge of the flask, I draw, and this may penetrate the circle, suggesting this remaining part of the jar. I have broken it, taken a part of it from there to this place. I leave it unfinished. Likewise, I leave it unfinished. I may use it like this, I may use it in another way. Here too, the width of this curve is there visible. You can use it. I, for example, use it like this. But here, the remaining curve though goes like this, but I prefer to use it in the reverse order, that is, bringing it downward instead of going it upward. then suggestion of this, not the continuity. I have to break this continuity of this line, and I take another line, draw over here. So now this line is here, the another line is here, third line is, they have shifted, they have broken and put apart in a new arrangement. But at the back of my mind, I am conscious of what is going to happen further. Now take for instance the box. The position of the box is at the bottom. It is in an angular position. Diagonally lines are there, going from front to upward, and the parallel lines behind it. It is not necessary that I may use their angular position. I can use their standing position also. But because I have already the vertical lines and the horizontal lines, likely horizontal lines of this flask, I would not like to use the other horizontal lines because that will create a sort of monotonous effect. If there are too much of horizontality or too much of verticality, that is certainly going to create an optically monotonous effect in your painting. So we have to go for a variety. Means the lines must change, there must be a movement, there must be a direction, there must be some rhythm, there must be a breaking of the symmetry. These are certain things that are going to it, but at the same time, the unity of the composition, that is the forms must present a unified whole. None of the form used in this has any individual significance. That is the important part of the composition. So being conscious that none of the form should get isolated. So I slowly proceed, and then I come to the cup. How to put it? I know the eclipse of the cup is going beyond this line into the body of the flask. I can of course use it as such. I can use it as such. I may project it and use the whole of it. Another point I think the question can come up in your mind of the viewers, that here another important thing is that in the still life they are related with their ratio and proportion, relative ratio and proportion. But here that relationship is not necessarily to be followed. But at the same time, too much of arbitration is also not advisable. The question is how they are going to help me create a better composition. With this idea, I can avoid, I can ignore the relative proportions between the various objects. Now this eclipse I have taken especially because of the use of curved lines, which I have used only here. I have created these curved lines with a variety. There the curve goes upward in a symmetrical manner. I have broken that, I have brought down the curve downward, the rest of it, but also broken over here. So this curvilinear linear effect has to be balanced by another curve. So I have still decided to use this elliptical form over here, then supported by the circular pattern of the plate as it is. I am not going to change it much because it is helping me keep a balanced over the use of paper. I have not decided what other modifications I will add to it, but at the moment it is being used as such. Now then, it is the question of pattern. The pattern will help me to be used as such, because the use of white in this, the use of white in this helps to break the monotony of white. So I have decided to use it as such. And another thing is that the handle, I am not going to modify much, because the handle also will help me to use a curved line. On this side, because there are too many vertical lines over here, horizontal over here. So I find an excuse to use the curved lines by the use of this handle. I still use. How long, I will decide afterwards. Now, the box has, of course, angular lines. There is no harm in using the angular lines. But at the same time, I have to decide in what way I can create further breaking of the various forms, create new images. I can also use the superimposition of the form over the other, or what you can say, overlapping of the forms. That is, if one form is visible, even the form behind it is also visible through it, or a part of it. Now here apple is there. I think there is a natural balance in the shape. We have a circular form over here, we have a circular form here. We can use another circular form over here of the apple, so that these forms can be balanced over the surface of the paper. Now take, for instance, I may use it, but of course it may be another aspect of it when my eyes go towards the apple. Now it reminds me the idea of slicing it, because when the apple is before us for eating, well, naturally we try to use the knife and slice it. So apple means not only the whole apple, apple also means the sliced apple, cut into pieces. A particular piece is there. So this is what my conscious mind tells me. So I may use it as such, or I may break it and take away a part of it from here and put elsewhere, or even before it. So these are other things I can use, and in that case that will help me certainly in a better way to use the form of the apple instead of simply a round-like figure over here. So what I do is, I take the apple and I slice it well. It is all the same, but at the time I take away a slice from it and say it has been cut with a gap showing its white interior, and I put this slice over here. So now the monotony of a round form over here has been broken by another particular semicircular form, of course correlated with it, taking a part of it and putting it over here. It breaks this continuity of the circular line and creates another pattern by another semicircular line and a horizontal line over here. Likewise, these are only tips to suggest how we can break, we can recreate, we can take away from this, put it elsewhere. This is up to us. We have to imagine, but here I am only taking the simpler form to complete my work in the limited period of time that has been allotted to me. Now, here it is. The box is just below it. Now, the angular lines can be of course used because we are so far as the straight lines are there, we have used the vertical lines, we have used the horizontal lines over here. This is also near horizontal lines. So here of course the angularity of line can help me to create a variety of direction or movement through these lines. So no harm, because I find the angularity of the line will be used to fill me, and I take this line over here. When I take this line over here, I may allow the line of the plate to go and cut this form further, though it is not visible. But too much of emphasis on the straight line is broken by this line cutting it through and being visible slightly. Now these are the devices which, if you remember, you can see the visuals of Picasso's paintings and some other abstract painters. They have been using this device of overlapping forms, making visible what is not visible. The invisible is also visible, because the interest in the creation of a pattern over there, that is important. Now here too, for example, the angularity, I maintain the angularity with an emphasis bringing it to the bottom, because this space was empty, so I must cover it up. Now here of course either I use the straight parallel lines like that, but it is not necessary that I must use the straight parallel lines like that. I can exaggerate the visual perspective of this box, or even reverse the order. Now, according to the principle of perspective, the farther height of it should be smaller than the nearer height of the box. But I think if I want to create a pattern, I may say I change this line to slightly modified. It is extending towards the left. I may reverse the perspective by making it look longer and the nearer edge looking smaller. Something new, something different, and something more effective, immediately eye-catching to me. So we have to go beyond the visual optical experience of the still life, the group of still life and the objects or the lines, the form that are being created there. I can take away this part and put it elsewhere. There is a figure of 4. I can use this figure of 4 elsewhere. I can use this figure of 4 over here on the apple, or on the jar, or on the plate, or over here. So we break, I think, I did not mean that you put it anywhere, but I visualize where it will be better to put it, so that I use it very effective way, in a very effective way, to create an interest in the painting. That is the important thing. So in my mind, at the back of my mind, those principles of rhythm, of balance, of unity, of emphasis, or of contrast, or of harmony, these principles are actively working at the back of my mind and guiding me. So while we should not think that at random we can pick up anything, put it anywhere. We can modify it in any way. No. There are some principles guiding me, and those principles may help me to create an interesting pattern. I don't mean this is the final word on it, I told you in the beginning that there are 1,001 ways of using the same object, the same group, the same forms in a great variety. Through permutations and combinations you can of course find out in how many thousands of ways you can use the same thing. So this is only one way of suggesting that how we proceed. Now this, for example, is because I must see that the lines of this box must create a pattern and they must cut. I don't want this monotony of this figure of the cup because it's too dominating on the forefront, that is the I should say foreground of this still life group. So it must be broken. So I can take this like this. I can take this line going beyond it. Now this line has gone cut across it, but I think more interesting will be to create a pattern, means I break it up to here, it's like this, and beyond it I take it little below it. I will remove this line of course while using colors. This line now comes down over here, and this line of course the bottom of the cup may come like this, the bottom of the cup from here may come like this, and here of course how I am going to deal with this, the two to be combined, I am yet to decide. I am not yet decided because I must visualize, see the effect, see the possibility of creating some pattern. For example, too much emphasis on the verticality, I must break that. How I can break that, of course, is another question. And now, well, one of the objects of this can help me in taking a part of it from here and adding a part of it over there. Now, take for instance, it's a cup and not necessarily a vertical cup. It can be another cup. I may use it. Take for instance, a part of it here I use the straight line. Here I use again the handle of the cup. I repeat the form because they help me create a pattern over here and break this verticality and let the ellipse go like this. Now these two things are combined in different manner. Now this handle can further go beyond. Not necessarily to finish over here, it can go beyond and slightly, gradually submerge into the surface over there, the colors of this thing. I have it in my thinking. Now over here, these two has a wavy effect. So the lines, of course, now I can use the wavy effect of it because this will add a variety and monotony of the circular regularity of the line. So these wavy lines help me. So I wanted to retain it and borrowing it from the character of the plate, its edges, wavy edges, I retain this quality over here. There are certain forms. Well, now here I leave it to be dealt with afterwards while coloring. Now this is a pattern. A pattern, I should say, basically derived from that. We have deviated. We have not deviated fundamentally or totally. Now this part also is slightly looks unfinished. I would not like to use the allow it to be used like that in a flat surface. We have to create a pattern. We have the use of this. We have the bottom brown that we have not yet used. I think it will be better. And instead of using it in a flat horizontal manner, it is better that we use the curve of it, whether it is already presentable from there. And let me add that thing to this area, slightly exaggerating the curve of the bottom. Well, the bottom may be somewhere here, and the book, well, it is not this line, I'm sorry. Do you have rubber? So I will not use anyway. My colors, while using the colors, this line will disappear. This line is there, and this line of course may break the parallel lines of the bottom of this flask over there. And I will again use another angular line over here, because this will help me to break the monotony of the curved lines, too many curved lines in this cluster of the. And of course we use a little bit of distortion. Distortion is not a good word, as a matter of fact. It means spoiling the natural image of something. But when it is deliberate, there is a purpose. The purpose is to create a more interesting effect by distorting. It can be aimed at two things. That is, one is to create an interesting pattern. Secondly, it may also be used to express something in particular through that distortion. That means variation of the representational form. So this is the liberty of the artist or of the poet or of the musician. They always, while rendering a particular raga or a dance form, they use devices to make it more interesting by deviating from something that is very familiar to us. So artist here, the visual artist I mean, we also distort. I mean, we differ from the natural or objective view of the thing and transform it through distortion to create a new pattern. When I use the word new pattern, means a new beautiful thing. So it is another aspect of the beauty, different from the beauty of the still life object that is before us, but it is also beautiful. So this is the sense in which we are often using the word distortion, not in a bad sense, but more creatively. The basic arrangement of the various forms is over here. Thank you, and thank you very much.